Hi, and welcome to Conversion Conversations. This is Cameron, and today I'm taking a look at Transformers Generations Legacy United Rescue Bots Universe Autobot Chase. And we have our first rescue bot in the Generations line here. Chase turns into, I think, a pretty cool looking, like, police interceptor type vehicle. Maybe a little low on paint in certain areas, but I like things like the metallic gray, grill here. I do wish that there was a colored badge there. I like the transparent yellow lights and windshield. That looks pretty nice. The rims could have used some paint. I know there was silver paint used on a lot of these transparent light pieces, but then also there could have been some paint on the back end. And a lot of this, I think, is a result of a lot of blue paint being used on white plastic. Like we can see these sections here had to be painted blue. So because of that decision, and then like white paint on the yellow plastic, because of those choices for paint applications, there's less paint elsewhere on the vehicle, but he still looks pretty nice. He rolls pretty nice. And I actually have a couple comparisons for him. If we're comparing police cars, here's how he looks next to Prowl. I do dig that. I like, the way they look together. But then if we're talking about the same universe, so we have two robots in disguise figures, and we've got, Rescue Bots, Chase. Blurr was in Rescue Bots. He showed up on the show, and he also showed up in Robots in Disguise. And then because of that, he was in the same show as Strong Arm. So we've got these three together. And this, I like this a lot. Obviously, there is a different level of engineering and detail that went into Chase than these two toys. These are much simpler, but I like the way they look together. I like, I'm not a big fan of cop cars, but I like the way these two kind of look together. And obviously, they did the Generations Legacy Evolution version, but that was a little small for me, so I do like the fact that this truck is like much larger than the cop car. That is neat. But yeah, so it's neat to see, the aligned continuity, that continuity family coming back and getting more toys, especially getting Rescue Bots in Generations is really, really exciting. And with all that said, let's get into transformation. The first thing we're going to do is he does have his Power Claw tool from Rescue Bots. I appreciate that they gave him a tool instead of just a gun. I think that keeps in the spirit of Rescue Bots, so we're going to take that off. We're going to leave these side lights / blasters on the sides. And this transformation I like a lot. We're going to come in and we're going to flip up these two panels, which act as like final clamps to hold everything in place. I think that's pretty neat engineering. We're going to come in on the back here, and we're going to separate things out and separate out this tab, and that lets us split the windshield from the hood. It has two slots that go into two tabs on the hood, but with that done, we can flip this whole section up, and we can see where the robot mode has been hiding this whole time. To do the legs, we're going to split the legs. We are going to bring out the toes like so. We can come in and we can flip around this section, just kind of getting this silver part out of the way of the rest of the leg. We are going to flip down this foot section, which lets us flip in here, closing kind of that gap there, which lets us take this portion of the wheel, and it has two sections. There's this yellow light piece, which we're going to flip up, and then we're going to flip in that to close up and form kind of a solid leg, rotating it to create our first robot leg. Same thing on this side. Close things up, flip up this yellow piece, flip in the wheel well, and rotate that, and we've got our two legs. The arms are much simpler. We are just going to flip things down, keeping these kind of wings out of the way as best as we can. Flip the arm down and bring it up, and then the top of the car where his badge, that becomes his chest, we just drop that down, close it up, and his arms are already transformed, and this is Rescue Bots Chase. Now, he can hold his tool. The way, this is going to be my biggest complaint, I think, the way his arm is, he has to hold the tool at an angle, which is annoying. The other way they did it is you can fit the tool over his fist, kind of like a power glove, and I do like that better. But here is Chase, and I think he looks pretty dang good. He's got like that iconic Chase Rescue Bots head. Again, not a big fan of police bots, but You know, as far as they go, I do like Chase and his design a lot. He does have good head wiggle here. He does have 360 on the shoulder. You just got to move the wing door out of the way, kind of move it back, but you can get 360. Maybe it's smart not to stretch that too much though. His arms can go up that far. He does have bicep swivel, just a 90-degree bend on that elbow. No wrist articulation except for this bend, which doesn't really come into play a lot. I think it's just to get it away from the panel. That's really it. He does have waist swivel, which is interesting. If you notice, the waist swivel is actually back here, not kind of at the center of his waist, but it still works out just fine. If we get his arms out of the way, he can Van Damme the whole way. He can kick up super high. This feels like the highest high kick we've gotten in a long time, which I really, really appreciate. Back, things start running into each other. You really got to kick out to the side to get it back, but it can go that far back. So, you know, not the highest back kick, but I mean, the fact that he can like fully can is awesome. Thigh swivel, knee bend 90-degree, ankle tilt, which his ankle tilt, if you notice, is a little odd. He naturally wants to go into an A stance. If you bring his legs in together, it almost looks like the tilt, like because the tilt is on the outside instead of the center of the leg, it looks a little unnatural. So I tend to keep him in an A stance like this, but he can tilt fully, you know, in that direction if you need him. Not so much inward. And yeah, he looks great. His claw piece can come apart. The instructions show like you can put the pieces, like give him essentially like one big Wolverine claw on his forearm, which is kind of neat. And yeah, I like the colors. I like the design. It's just a neat, like it's really, really, I don't know, just satisfying to see one of the rescue bots get the Generations treatment. He looks really good. Love the paint. Love everything about him. The minor thing about articulation and then the wings getting in the way. You know, those things. And then I guess the wrist. This is the big one. The fact that he can't hold his weapon naturally is really annoying. But he can flip it around like this, give it to him like that, and then he's got like two blasters there. Yeah, it's like that part is fine, but everything else about the toy I do really like. And he looks good with his buddies. So here he is again with some fellow Aligned Continuity family members. You know, I think these guys look really nice together. And Strong Arm, like, again, the Strong Arm mold, I hope we get another shot at her. I wasn't super happy with Legacy Evolution's version, but I think this version could be improved. But yeah, I mean, he's the standout amongst these guys. And he's just a really solid deluxe. Easy recommendation for 25 bucks. If you want, you know, a police car transformer that's not Prowl, Chase is, you know, the one to go with. He's great. Just a kind of a very classic, not classic as in referencing the old G1, but just very like solid workhorse Transformers Deluxe that kind of shows off what the design and engineering of a modern Transformer can do. And that'll be it for today's review. Thanks everybody for watching, and catch you on the next one. Bye!